Hey guys, welcome back at Affiliate Business Conversation. I'm your host, Aki Amam, and with me today is Emmon Khan from Khan Media Group, a friend of mine who I met in Toronto, a super awesome dude, also big e-com guy, and we have so much in store for you guys today because we're going to talk about making the switch from actually having a job to becoming a six, seven, eight-figure entrepreneur even, and how to start off with your own e-com brand. And so let's just start off because I know, Aman, can you hear me well? First of all, let's test it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect, man. Welcome you today. So I know you've been a consultant before, which is 6, 7 years ago, and you've made the switch to digital marketing to obviously to e-commerce, and you started off your journey as an entrepreneur. So let's just start off about that, and you can also do like a short background introduction for the audience and the people that don't know you or don't know you yet.
Okay, yeah, thanks for the introduction, brother. Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure meeting you, and like we've been like good friends ever since. Yeah, man. So I graduated from the highest university, had accounting finance background, and I got into management consulting, kind of accounting finance work. So did it for almost like 13 years, and I was traveling about almost 30 weeks a year for about 13 years, living at hotels and I spent time in probably well over 500 private and public companies. I had clients like Apple, Bank of America, GE, Wells Fargo, Yankee Candle. I mean, tons of like high profile public companies and also like a lot of private companies, that from manufacturing, tech space, e-commerce. So that allowed me to kind of get like a pretty diverse understanding of a lot of different businesses and industries and going into these companies and analyzing these companies like from A to Z. And then about 6, 7 years ago, I got into digital space. It's more like I was kind of almost forced into it. I'm forced into entrepreneurship. I was already an entrepreneur. I had an entrepreneur mindset. I got in a situation where my dad got really sick, and he was kind of he got diagnosed with ALS disease, and I got fired from my
Sorry to hear.
consulting company I used to work for. And my mom didn't know how to drive, and they required me to travel. One thing led to another. I got in an argument with one of the partners, and ended up firing me from my job. It was like my worst. It was just a horrible year. It was very, very tough. So that year, I literally used to drop my mom at the hospital and go to a nearby Starbucks and spend like 10, 12 hours a day just learning about digital marketing, like consume as much information as possible about the space, about drop shipping, how to run Facebook ads, Google ads, and everything under the sun. I just knew like where the world was headed, where the industry was headed. Our retail stores were shutting down. I'm like, I need to get good at digital marketing. I need to be able to sell online. I need to have the skill where I can jump on my laptop and able to advertise around the world and sell my products around the world. And so that first year, I probably didn't make much money. I probably lost a little bit of money in my first year just because, if you understand a learning curve, most people are so afraid to go to that learning curve. And that's like where you basically developing a foundation. I went to the learning curve, kept on pushing, and then my second, year, I made about $200,000, and after that, it just kind of started going up and up and up as I kind of started perfecting uh, my craft a little bit more and more and more, and becoming like a really good digital marketer. And then, yeah, man, fast forward now, like 6, 7 years later, I have tons of e-com stores. I do coaching. I have a digital marketing agency, provide services for brands, companies, whether it's content or media buying, things like that too.
Yeah, cool, man. So actually, that's kind of media group, right? And I know obviously we had this conversation before, but I know also you made like a good exit. So and you know a lot about exit strategy. So maybe let's step into like today, like how to like build a brand, maybe with an exit strategy, like what people need to like, have in mind if they're building not only a company but like a brand, like the automation. It's not only like putting like obviously like people can be good in Facebook ads or they can be good in copywriting, but it's not only like it's basically just like a piece of the pie. So in the end, there's so much more when when you want to have a good brand out there and you want to go for an exit. And I know you have experience in that, so maybe we can just go walk us through like what you did there with also with the brand building and obviously like the online curve and the
Yeah,
business
absolutely,
building.
man. My from my consulting background and doing e-com, I believe in something called MVP, minimum viable product. So when you start a business, you want to do as minimum as possible, to basically to put it out into the market and get feedback. So whether you're developing an app or in this case, you're doing e-commerce brand. So I typically, if I'm building a brand, I start with a dropshipping store where obviously I'm not investing a lot of time and money into inventory. So that gives you kind of a little bit of leverage where like you're not like wasting a ton of money, and you can basically you're able to test a product. So dropping a product without any type of branding on a label on it, just to see what the market thinks of your product. So if on the dropshipping phase where you're investing a little bit of money, and it could be anywhere from like a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s, and you're just testing the market out. If that kind of goes well, then obviously you can step it up and kind of like take that product and work with the supplier. You can reach out to the manufacturer. I suggest in the beginning just taking an existing product and just private labeling it. It's low cost versus like manufacturing it from scratch. Makes the product a little more unique, but then it's going to be much more costly because now the suppliers are like, I want you to produce like 25,000 units. It's just too much. So taking that, and then you have to have a more of an omni-channel approach with building a brand versus like dropshipping. You have Shopify and Facebook ads, and that's all you pretty much need, right? You can have a little bit back end stuff too.
Yeah,
Building a brand, you got to get on Snapchat, you got to get on Facebook, you have Google, email marketing, SMS, so the full like 360 scope. You don't do all of them at one time. You maybe pick one or two channels and focus on those one or two channels. Like for example, you can start off with Facebook and like Google because they're the two biggest, I think, in my opinion, traffic sources out there. They have the most users and the most visibility too. So then taking that and then what I've seen is scaling it out 6 months to a year, and then just trying to get brand awareness, get traction, get sales. I've even seen like brands that literally are not even profitable and still have an exit. The fact they have revenue coming in and have a user base, but they're not
yeah,
profitable, they can still sell for like multiples. So I did that with one of my. I had this brand. It's a random like thing in the Viking niche, and like the show the Vikings. So I basically had this whole
yeah.
Viking store. It's called Viking Fury, basically. And I took this store, started drop shipping, and then over the course of like 2 3 months, I had like 30,000 like loyal followers for this like Viking stuff, and like I didn't actually
Crazy.
have any interest in the
Yeah,
Viking
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah,
but I had loyal fans, and I was just like shocked and surprised like how much
yeah, yeah.
people love this stuff. I mean, I literally like I have one of these cups right here, like these are one of these. This is one of the products right here.
Oh no shit! Nice,
Yeah,
man.
so this is literally
That's legit. That's
yeah,
legit.
this is from India. This is made of buffalo and oxhorn, like real buffalo and oxhorn. A lot of these guys
It
manufacture this
looks
stuff.
cool, man. It looks
Yeah.
fucking cool.
But like if you understand the Viking niche, people like so like with this stuff they drink like beer and ale. They love this stuff. Like people who are in
Yeah,
that niche
yeah.
they love this kind of stuff.
And
So I
big
literally
cups also.
yeah, I sold like $300,000 worth of this mug, and then I took this product, and then I'm like, well, what else can I do? I should literally find product and shoot like videos with my phone, and I would send
Hmm.
them out to like companies and they make videos of these products. I would just put them online. Every time I put a product up, these the followers for like this niche were so loyal and
Yeah,
hardcore
yeah,
that
yeah.
like it was just insane. Like and they every time I throw something up, they were like just quickly buy it. So I kept on like scaling the store up to a point where like I didn't feel a passion like with the store itself. I'm like it's a cool store, but like I wasn't like personally passionate about it. So I'm like, let me try to sell it. So I found a broker and we worked out a deal and they basically put a valuation on it, and I ended up having like a high six-figure deal out of that store or whatever. I ended up selling it to another like a person. But yeah, man, I mean it was just literally started drop shipping, running Facebook ads, and ended up turning into a brand almost like it was just like almost like accidental brand.
Yeah, yeah, but but I mean, like, obviously, it's very cliche. Like, you need to find a good niche, but I think what most people do wrong, even I think for myself also, if I can talk for myself, is you sometimes might think that things won't work because you have no interest in it, and it's because it's not our niche. Or like a Viking, I had no idea. Obviously, there is like a niche of it, but I had no idea like it could be like going so well because people definitely love this stuff. And with this, like, how would you like show people how they can like find these niche products? Because I think in the end of the day, what makes a good dropshipper is not only the ads, but it's like you don't want to be the same like everybody else. Like, how were you able to built the audience, like the 30K followers. It's obviously it's I don't even know brands now that have 30K followers and have like a I don't know, like a cool brand or whatever. But like that's obviously like the things what people what's the hardest part, because if you build like a community around it, or like if you tap into community, then it's super easy. Well, it's easier. I'm not saying super easy, but easier to at least like sell the product or like find a product which works for them.
Yeah, totally, man. So like this was a couple of years ago. Obviously, like Facebook was a little less strict. The cost CPM is a little bit cheaper too. So for what I did for this in particular was it was like a random idea. I created 10 Facebook pages.
Hmm.
And one was like a pet niche, butterflies, unicorns, biking, and like cars. And I literally ran a bunch of really cheap like campaigns each one of the pages. And I want to see and I just put like random pictures up on each page. I want to see which audience or these 10 audiences was the most engaging and commenting. And then I literally this was like by far like the winner. Like it literally within like 3-4 days, I saw so much engagement on this page. I was like, holy shit, this is insane. So I just literally started focusing all my time and energy into this. I didn't even have a store. It was just a Facebook page. I didn't even have a store yet this time.
Yeah, yeah,
So
cool.
out of the initial phase, building the Facebook page, I just created a whole like biking Shopify store and started putting products on there and started dropshipping stuff. And like I literally, the more I did it, I wasn't running like campaigns anymore. I literally would just run conversion campaigns. And so the
Yeah.
more conversion campaigns I ran, the more and more natural kind of organic likes and reaches, things like that I got. But I find products for drop shipping. The way I find products is I don't find products that I like. I find products that I would think people like. Like just because I like it doesn't mean like the general population is gonna like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
that's what I mean with finding the people. How do you find a niche? Because we have obviously we have total different interests and also needs and
mhm.
wants than people. So how do you find like these type of products, or like what triggered you in that moment to be like, hey, or how did you get the ideas? You just test like, hey, I'm gonna do like 10 different pages out of the
Mhm.
blue, or how did you get like how did you see the light basically?
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. It's drop shipping. It's you're just split testing a lot of stuff. Like I will launch sometimes 10, 15 products a day. One could be like a baby toy. One could be like a household product. One could be like a automotive product or whatever. So you have to think about like China. China's pumping out like thousands of new products every single day that we in the USA in the Western Hemisphere have not seen yet. It's not in the retail stores. So we have spy tools. So we use these spy tools to get basically access to these products, and we're able to um, launch them on Facebook, set up like small budget campaigns, and then we'll launch a bunch of products at one time. Within about 2-3 days of data coming in, you'll know right away like how the audience is reacting, just purely based off
Crazy, yeah,
all like database decisions. Yeah, you'll know right away. Like you look at the click-through rates, the CPMS, like the CPC, and then the video. People are video being from 25 to 90%, 5% of the video. You'll know pretty fast in 2-3 days, and then you select one or two of the products, and you start moving into the next phase where like okay, now I can possibly start expanding my interest on this and start like scaling these products out or whatever. But yeah, man, it's honestly it's a lot of it's kind of random. But like once you understand the system, that it's very like it's very chaotic, but it's chaotic in a very systematic way. The best way to
yeah,
put
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. But actually, that's a good thing. So you actually you waited for your for people to see what the best click through rate was. 'Cause that's your first step, basically. How you're see how you see like your how your audience basically are is reacting to your product, and from there, you basically go deeper into that niche because you basically just look for one product, CTR or a video or the picture ad, and from there it's like okay, this has a high CTR, higher than average than the other product that you tested, and then you're like, okay, all let's say 9 out of 10 products. You said, okay, fuck these products. I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna focus on this type of products and then just have like a store built around it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, literally, out of all the products, all you need is 1, 2 products to scale to like high 5 figures, 6 figures, and occasionally once in a blue moon, 7 figure products or whatever. But if you get a bunch of like 5, 6
Hmm.
figure products combined together, you can have like as a whole 7 figure store. Which I've done like before. But yeah, man, it's just testing a lot of products, and you got the phase one, testing a small budget, then you move to phase two, where now you start testing more creatives and testing more interest,
Hmm.
and you literally figure out like what's working, what's not working. You kind of move it to the next phase.
Yeah, I think this is like this is the magic, or like the magic key for most dropshippers, like how to find it. But it's man, it's already like a good tip to how to find at least a good niche, and then go much deeper into that niche. Well, also like the MVP you were talking about, because I was like, I think in this industry a lot of people aren't really focusing. Well, I'm not saying like a lot of people, but a lot of people are just focusing on either just the conversions, or just sales basically, or doesn't matter if you're an affiliate marketer or an e-com, like you're everyone's in general and just wanting to be like, okay, I just like dollar in, how many dollars coming out, like the ROAS or whatever. Everyone loves the words ROAS, obviously, but how do you find, or how did you create your MVP best? Because I think this is also like a thing. What I feel it's important also with affiliate business club and the things we want to put out there, testing what kind of products. We just launched our platform. We want to launch some courses. Like, how do we test it out there? So how did you start with creating your MVP?
Yeah, man. Yeah, so MVP, like a minimal buyer product. It's a book I read a couple years ago by Eric Ries, and it's just like he basically talks about if you have an idea, you want to do basically the minimum possible in a short period of time, from like the point you have the thought in your brain, like to the point of launch. You want that to be as short as like and fast as possible, so you get instant feedback from the market. So if you have an idea, and you're spending like weeks and months to get it launched. I mean, like you could have launched like hundreds of different ideas by then. That's way too much
Yeah.
wasted time. You gotta like for me from point A to point Z, from finding a product to launching a product, it literally takes me maybe 2 3 days max. Sometimes even 24 hours. You can get a store up probably. I'd suggest in the beginning getting like a general store up where you have like tons of different niches and different categories. So that way you're not restricted to one specific product, one specific niche. So like I have your toys in there and baby stuff in there and this and that in there or whatever. So that's the best way to start. That's why like when I have a students I coach and I tell them all to start with a general store, and if you find products from there, you can move them into like a niche store and then also a one product store too. By doing that, you actually kind of helps increase convergence because now it's like niche focus or one product store focus or whatever too. So yeah, man, finding products and then also getting the creatives. A lot of times you can find creatives on the internet. I don't condone like ripping creatives, but like you can have like I have people on my team where like will take existing creatives and will chop it up and kind of make new
Mm,
creatives out of those. And it shouldn't take more than
yeah.
like 24 hours max to do that. And then setting up like some interest targeting. I think a lot of people have a lot of trouble like interest targeting. How to like, hey, like I launched like for example 50 interests for one campaign, and so I can split test
Crazy.
different interests.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, 50 interests, and then each interest will have about three different creatives in there. You
And
can
how
have
many
safety ads in
dollars,
there.
how much would you like spend, or like on average per creative, or like per ad set, like for the audience?
To be honest, man, you probably don't need more than like I would say $200 max, 100 $200 to test a
Mm-hmm.
product. So I do typically CBO campaigns, campaign budget optimization.
Yeah.
So you can set a probably like a $250 campaign CBO, but like within $100 of spend, $150, $100 to spend, even though it's $250, within $100 spend, you will know if that product is a winner or not within $100 spent for sure. Because you probably get about 24 hours or like even like it's 12 hours, 24 hours. You'll know based off the data, the click through CPMs, and if you get any sales. If after 24 hours you break even in the testing phase, that
Yeah.
means like the product break even slightly profitable. If you're getting sales in, that means that the product is a potential winner. If you got like literally no sales, then I would just scrap that product and move on to the next pretty fast.
Yeah, obviously that's a lot of people. It's the main things I want to ask is like a lot of people always ask in general or want to know how much they need to get started. Which I think with ecom, the easiest way to get started, it's much easier than affiliate marketing. At least you don't need a lot of like, yeah, you need a tracker or whatever with affiliate marketing, and you find very good ones. But I think with ecom, it's much easier, as you say, like to start off and to test with the niche. And I really like the fact that how you said like started testing with like just a like campaign on Facebook. Like I think it's super funny. Like I would never ever have I've thought of it myself. I might test it out in myself soon to just like see what kind of like niche I can tap into. But Yeah, man, I think it's a very like solid point, and it really like shows a lot of people how you can get started in a good, cheap, easy way.
Mhm.
And I think that most people they just want to start with a store, which and spend, let's say, maximum 1K or whatever, and then just start building from there. Because I know you can just build your store, and I think also what you showed me, build on Fiverr, Upwork, have someone build your store if you don't know how to do it, and even if you don't have the knowledge, it's super easy to just add products on there. But now it's actually a valid way to start how you do it, like how you get started. So, man, we can like, definitely like, jump a little bit further into that because obviously now you've tested the product, you've tested the niche, you've found the niche, you've tested the product, and then you've moved into a solid, let's say, six-figure brand. You have obviously a couple six-figure brands out there, some seven even doing seven in revenue. So, man, it's also good to know like how you build your team structure around it because obviously you're not a one-man show. I know you were in Chicago before. Now you're in LA, enjoying life in LA right now, but I know you have a
Roughly.
whole team. Rough days for everyone out here. Amsterdam's in lockdown. Cali's in lockdown. We're all screwed. No, we're in a very good spot. But I know you have your team. I Yeah, I don't know how many people you said last time. I don't want to say the wrong number, but you have a big team in Chicago. How were you able like to build it up? Because obviously, for a lot of people, they want to be that dream entrepreneur, not working themselves anymore, but scaling, let's say from 1 to 5 people is pretty easy. From 5 to 15, you learn more, but from let's say 20 plus, it's a whole different ballgame. And I know you have a couple hundred people working for you. So yeah, man, let's step into that. How did you like? How were you able to build an empire, a con media group empire, with so many people out there?
Yeah, definitely, man. In the beginning, it was just me. So it starts off with only you. So I was, the advertiser, sitting at the store, setting up product pages, running the campaigns, cleaning the bathroom, sweeping the floor, everything, wearing like 100 different hats. So like in the beginning, I'm a believer is I don't like to outsource anything unless I know how to do it myself, at least to a certain, or if I know how to do it, at least like I
Same,
have a good understanding of
same.
it. So like if I were going to say anyway, because like for me to like outsource something, I don't like being taken advantage of. So I need to understand the subject and make sure like at least like I said, like SEO for example, like I understand what it is and I know what it does. Obviously I don't do SEO myself, but I will outsource SEO, things like that too. I crush Facebook ads, media buying, I'll do myself, but like if I need to outsource it, I know like what data to look at, what how to set up accounts properly and how to obviously
Mm.
optimize properly. So I think I'm doing it myself, and then once I think you can probably do about I would say about a six-figure store by yourself. You're able to do it yourself. I think anything past that, you're going to burn out like pretty fast. And that's what I did. So that Viking store is what actually kind of happened. I was scaling that store and I scaled up so damn fast and I didn't have my customer service set up properly. So
I
I
was
would
just
literally
gonna
get
tap into that
Oh
customer
man, yeah, my customer
service.
service, dude. Like I had so much, like so many emails coming from people, and like I had no like no Zendesk and Gorgeous. Like I wasn't using any platform. I had emails coming. It was literally a Gmail account, and I was like in all these emails. So like I was, during that year, this is a couple like years and years ago. I would literally get so many emails. I'll be up for like 3, 4, 5 in the morning every single day answering emails and try to do everything myself, like from fulfill orders to like customer service to run ads to this and a workout gym 4 or 5 days a week. It was way too much.
Yeah,
So I started
crazy.
like obviously kind of reading resources, books and like that, how to build systems, and then I ended up finally hiring my first VA from Upwork, and she did like uh, customer service. It was one VA. I was customer service and order fulfillment. So she would go in and basically answer all the emails and then kind of fulfill orders through the day. And you fulfill orders through, I think back then I was using Overload. There's
Mm-hmm.
also Dropify too, which is another, it's a product importer app, and then you can also allows you to
Yeah.
fulfill orders. So from that, I think I ended up hiring another like 2, 3 VAs for my one to do like more just customer service work, and also another one to do product research as well too. So I ended up getting 2, 3 VAs after that, and then from there, I think I ended up selling the store after like I was like 6 months to a year. So like just 2, 3 VAs I just kept for my next company, my next brand or whatever. And I started kind of like I'm like okay, I think I got this. I stepped back. I didn't like even build another store. I'm like okay, I need to get some systems ready before I work on the store because I know I can scale the stuff really really fast. If I
Hmm.
do it, I'm like if you don't have systems set up properly, it's just going to break. So you gotta stress test your systems to make sure you have enough people in there. A lot of people like I think the solo entrepreneur thing is not sustainable. It doesn't work. You gotta have a
Because
team,
you
man.
burn out. You burn out after a while, right? It's because it's, man, I've also been a solopreneur. I think everyone who starts, it's like the grind is fucking real. And as you
It's
say, you
real,
do
man.
everything, and you keep putting yourself up with good energy and trying to talk yourself into the good stuff, but it's super fucking hard, man. It's so fucking hard.
It's hard, bro. You got to, man. You gotta outsource. You have to realize that you can't do everything yourself. Nobody becomes successful without other people's help. So you have to build a team. You have to get partners. You gotta be more open-minded. Like the whole like doing everything. It's not doable, bro. Like just it doesn't work. It's not effective. You can do like maybe a small scale. If you want a big company, you need
Yeah,
like a team, you need systems. So me going out and hiring like I hire a lot of VAs, for example, in the Philippines and India and it's just these guys work just as hard, even harder than the people here in the USA, and they're just it just a lot. It's cheap labor too, obviously, and they work really hard too. So like, and you can hire a lot of people for really cheap labor as well too, and they work their butt off. They have families to feed, things like that too. I give all my employees bonuses too because they work their butt off, and they
yeah,
have team calls every
cool.
week too. But like, yeah, hiring like customer service people. I think your first couple hires should be number one should be your customer service, and then probably order fulfillment should be like one of your first hires. So
Hmm.
as long as as like if they can't handle it, obviously like if you have a higher volume, then you need to hire maybe one more customer service and one more order fulfillment person. So together collectively they're able to satisfy all the stuff orders coming in, and the questions coming in for a store or whatever. Then hiring I think your customer as you get more and more stores, I think your customer service people is going to be super super crucial. So like having like I've had like 15 20 customer service people at one time, um, basically managing a lot of stores because as you build more and more stores out, obviously you're going to get more and more like customer service tickets. So you have to obviously satisfy those. So having a big
Yeah,
customer
yeah,
service team and kind of getting a customer retention because obviously if you're not answering the customer's emails, like I have a rule, like some KPIs, like you need to answer a customer email within like 24 to 48 hours max, typically within 24 hours,
yeah.
because I just, you know,
I just get annoyed already when 24. Now I know obviously COVID and everything around it, but let's say 48 hours with no reply and something's up. I'm like, these guys are fucking with me, right? They're like, something's up.
yeah, people freak out, man. They're like, oh shit, it's a scam, it's a scam or this kind of
Yeah,
bullshit. People are just so used to like Amazon, like 24-hour, 40-hour, 72-hour
yeah.
shipping and fast customer
At
service.
home, yeah. Amazon raised the bar for everybody,
Yes,
man.
Amazon is the bar. So now it just like for the rest of us, we kind of have to like, I mean, we can't get to the Amazon level right now. Obviously, they're a multi-billion dollar. They have to spend billions of dollars in their system. So, but
Yeah,
we get as close to Amazon as possible.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man, so you got the customer service people, product research people. I have product outsourcing agents too in China too that find
Hmm.
products or work with suppliers to get better pricing on products too. Then and then one of your big hires is also like a project manager who overlooks all these people. But a project
Hmm.
manager reports everybody in the team reports to the project manager, and the manager reports to me. So like I'm not dealing with like 50, 100 people. I'm only dealing with one person. That one
Yeah,
person
yeah,
reports
yeah.
to me. So
Perfect.
that's like a very important key hire too. Project manager is going to be a little more pricey to hire because it's much more responsibility and they're it's overlooking quite like a big piece of your business and they obviously get almost like inside access to some of your personal financials and things like that too as well.
Yeah, man. Because actually, that's it's funny to say project manager because actually for me, project VA and a project manager were one of the first hires, even for from the business club, because it's someone to just control everything that's coming into your mind. And from there, this person is just talking to the rest. But I think it's a great tip for everybody out there running their e-com store. Because I know obviously customer service is just the most headache. you can have out there.
Yeah.
It will burn you up. It will, it like for sure. But yeah, man, I think this is definitely a super good tip for people out there, how to get started. And because we also, I know, like not we, but I know you did an exit. You've worked with exits. What's like, if you could like say like three tips how to automate your business for an exit strategy, or like what would you give like the people out there as a tip?
Yeah, man. If you want to have a successful exit, you definitely number one is like kind of what you talked about. You definitely have systems in place. It just makes the sale, a little more the transaction a little much more cleaner and smooth.
Hmm.
Versus like if you're messy, so now like the buyer has to spend all this time and money setting up systems because you didn't like obviously do it for yourself, you know. So having systems in place, also like having like the right buyer who understands your business could be crucial too. Somebody you like, who understands your industry, somebody who understands e-commerce, how it works, because a lot of times in e-commerce, especially building a brand, you might go to a phase in the beginning where you might be going to, your customer acquisition costs. You might be losing a little money a little bit in acquiring customers because they're learning about your brand. So like might
Yeah,
not be profitable right away off the bat. So like somebody who understands that, but then just because it's not profitable does not mean like the value doesn't have brand, like it doesn't have brand equity, doesn't have user base. Like look at companies like Uber and Lyft and even Airbnb. They're not profitable, bro. They
yeah,
want
yeah.
IPO. Like Airbnb
I
want
know.
profitable like IPO, right? They're not
I know
profitable yet.
they're like a loss, right? Like, I don't know, hundreds of millions in debts
Yeah.
basically.
But so the investors know that, and then they go into it, they invest anyways because they know eventually a company will become profitable because they have such a loyal following and user base that they can have different products and services come out in the future that will make them profitable. So and it's
Hmm.
cash flow, right? Cash flow is coming in. As long as cash flow is coming in to pay off the monthly expenses, they don't care. I mean, they'll sell it or whatever. So yeah, man, finding the right buyer, having systems, finding the right buyer who understands the industry, and also I would say just I mean getting a good price out of it. It's like obviously if you work your butt off and you don't want to obviously get lowballs on the offer either. You want to make sure you get your worth obviously. So like having different buyers will give you different valuations on your business. This buyer maybe don't see your business, maybe don't see the vision, might give you like might lowball you, give you like a small offer. So I
Hmm.
think being like patient and testing the market and finding out which buyer works best with your business and gives you the highest valuation is super crucial as well too. So probably I would say those like probably three things.
I think it's definitely like all the systems. I think the systems is one of the most important part because you don't want to be needed anymore at definitely at one point, and everything like the SOPs and everything just need to be in place so
Mm-hmm.
everybody, because obviously they're as I said, like they're buying the customer base of loyalty, but also like the process and the system. So they buying that part of knowledge. That's actually why Amazon bought like logistic companies, right? They just bought like a food chain company was, I think, like who was super good in logistics because they just want to gather the knowledge how they did something. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
these things in place, definitely it's one of the keys to success. Man, I think we talked a lot about different things from the part how you actually can find the right niche first, then the right product, then the right people, and then for the exit. I think this is one of the actually three different things which are very important for every entrepreneur out there. So you have like three different phases actually we discussed, which I think for everyone out there is super valuable, to at least get started and to look into these ideas because obviously it goes much deeper. I know we had a couple of conversations one on one when we met each other, and also like now on Zoom calls sometimes where we go super deep and we just like sit down and just think like, yeah, man, what's this, and we just talk, and then I think it's one of the nicest things to meet people like you and what this industry is all about, for me personally. And I hope everyone definitely gets to meet you one day who listens to this podcast because I think the way you stand in life and you are as a person, I think it's a very good example. Obviously, you made your money, you are successful, and you've made your cash, but you're enjoying now through all these systems and all the hardship you've been through. So. Man, I think we it's a good time to wrap up. We and we obviously gonna, at least I hope we're gonna do one again maybe next year or something, and at least we get to see each other next year, because I think this is,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it will be super cool, man. Thank you so much for being on Affiliate Business Conversations. We're gonna wrap it up once again. We had Emmon Khan from Khan Media Group, and I hope to see you guys again soon.
Pleasure, man. Thank you.